Just ran into a gay homeless bro in the park. And he was telling me that he had something inside him that he said, I have something in this thing. I forget what he called it. He's like, I can't digest it. He goes, can I teleport it to you? And I'm like, yeah, you can do that. You know, because of course you can. And he's like, I have to do the spell first. And I'm like, oh, you're a magician. Yeah, me too. And he's not really a magician, but he was like, you have to feel my my heart, my pacemaker or something. So he gives me it. He wants me to hug him. So I'm like, all right, you know, I'm hugging gay homeless bro. He's pretty dirty, smells pretty bad, but you know, I'm a man of God, reaching out to the homeless sometimes physically. And I give him a hug, and I'm ready to get away, and he wouldn't let me get away. And he's strong, man. And finally, no, you gotta let me go. Go let me go. And fuck, he's stronger than he looks. So then we're talking, I'm like, I gotta go to the store, I'm going to the store. And he's like, all right, bye, sweetie. And I'm like, bye, honey. There's all people standing around at the bus stop. And I'm like, well, you know, people see me talking like that to them all the time, just as a joke. But now I'm giving them hugs too. People are gonna start thinking I'm gay house, bro. Which is fine. Probably people think that anyway. It's a nice day here in Honolulu on the street in Waikiki that I normally don't come down. In fact, I haven't been down this street in a long time. I just kind of took this road so I wouldn't have to go by gay homeless bro again. They've been working on this thing for a while. I guess it was tied up in some kind of pissing match between the developer and the city. Happens every time. Over where the Waikiki market is, it used to be, in the awesome days, was a food pantry. I love the food pantry, it's great. A lot of birds used to go in there. You go in there, get coffee in the morning, sit down, and have birds flying around the store. They don't go in Waikiki Market now. It's just, they really can't get into it because Waikiki Market's on the second floor. It changed the neighborhood a lot. Even in the time I've been here, and the decade I've been here, it's gone from like more of a neighborhood feeling to more of a travel destination. A lot of stores have, you know, if they haven't been replaced by chains, they have a chain type feel to them. Any sort of locally owned places are gone. They had to go with COVID. Like everything was forced to shut down, you know. Everything except state mandated places like Walmart or McDonald's, places that was okayed by the state, you know. Which is kind of interesting because it was deadly, too deadly for, you know, the mom and pop place to be open, but the people at Walmart, the Walmart store, which, you know, employs the same group of people, they're like more prepared for the plague at that time. It was fucking stupid. It was a wealth transfer. It took all the money from, you know, struggling small businesses and gave them to the bigger, larger corporations. Not just here, that happened everywhere. Happened in the world. You know, we all had the same standard kind of stickers. I mean, different languages depending on what part of the, you know, world you're from. But they had all that shit printed out that stayed 6 feet apart and things like you know, where to stand, where not to stand. I remember in Ross they had arrows, stickers that they put on the aisles of how they wanted you to walk. Like, the aisles were one way. You could only go the way the arrow was facing. It was fucking madness, you know. Traumatized people. Fucking traumatized me. I'm looking at this stuff. I'm like, are you serious? So I can't walk the other way because they didn't want to have 2 people in the same place at once. The thing about it is, like, if it was that bad that you had to negotiate where people were standing at all times, then places shouldn't be open. You know what I mean? It's either deadly or it's not. If it was so deadly, the airport should have been closed for more than a week. Tourists should have stopped being able to come here. But they couldn't do that. So tourists kept coming here. That was one of the reasons why I started doing this. I'd already been making videos around the house just for like my own reference because I was having a lot of downloads at that time. Spiritual downloads, understanding, figuring, you know, that kind of shit. Like, oh, I know why dolphins talk, you know, stuff like that. And it's just staying into the pad on my phone. But also in the media at the time, there was all these news stories about how Hawaii was on the brink. This is the headline that triggered me. The hospital's overflowing and so many dead. Hawaii's on the brink. And it's like, well, if you lived here, you'd know that that's not fucking true. You know, it's just not true. But what I did is I was started walking around up on Kalakaua. And there were still big crowds. People still coming in, you know. And I just started filming. I'm like, oh, this is Hawaii on the brink. Like, behind all these people shopping here in the street, we have bodies piled up, being burned with kerosene behind the H&M. You just can't see it. It was 1984-esque. That was the beginning of the, and I know you're not supposed to say anything about Orwell, because mentioning Orwell is absolutely right-wing. Because anything they don't like is considered right-wing, but it was very Orwellian. Very Orwellian. Jon Stewart and Seth Rogen still dumping people into the neighborhood. I noticed a lot this morning from what I assume is actual different continents. Like, you know, there's a lot of mainland black people, but there's also a lot from Africa. There's also a lot from Haiti. And you can tell the ones that aren't mainland. And I noticed a lot of them this morning. And as soon as I got off this corner here, I'm going to tell you exactly what the difference is. But, you know the drill, you know how it is. There we go, there we go. Pretty busy for 10 in the morning here. There's a lot of fucking people around. Yeah, I gotta be careful talking when I'm at these, waiting for the lights to change, because no one talks, no one else talks, they just all stand around. And if they notice I'm doing this, then all of a sudden, like, they'll just watch me. But yeah, the difference is the, black people from the mainland tend to look almost brown. They have like a dark brown, like a chocolate, except not as sweet as, it's mean instead, mean and angry instead. But the ones from other continents are fucking coal black. Like, their skin isn't like regular black people's skin, it's black. And they have a mixture, the way they're dressed, right? It's a mixture of UNICEF and we're going golfing in the 80s. A lot of bright colors, a lot of you know, corporate logos, like I don't even want to say Love, I don't even know what they are. But yeah, it's like UNICEF clothes mixed with we're going golfing in the 80s clothes. You can always tell them, but I'm noticing a lot more guys like that. It's usually guys by themselves walking around, and that's you know, that's the most valuable to our masters, quote unquote masters. They know they're going to cause the most disruption, and I mean, they're all going to cause disruption. You can't, because they just don't get along with anyone else wherever they go. Doesn't matter where they are, so it creates friction no matter what area they're moving them into. But yeah, they haven't slowed down. This thing that began during the COVID era, I started seeing it as early as 2019. The first warning was when, like I talked about this before, but I got to get over repeating things because sometimes you have to. Downtown, all the drug dealers that my friends knew were busted. There was a big sweep. They all got busted, picked up. Guys that had been dealing down there for years, like decades, Islander guys, like older locals who had been down there running that game for a long time. I figured the CIA wanted to get its own people in there to maintain better control over the drug trade. I mean, the police already have control, in my opinion, over the drug trade in those cities. Your local police is involved there. I mean, that's why you see the same guys just standing on the corner at certain places every day. There was one guy we knew, that my friends knew, that would sit on a bench across from the convention center, outside the convention center, and his customers would just roll up to the stoplight he was at when they wanted something. They'd pull up to it and he'd be like, "Hey, brother," and he'd walk out like right there. That's how they met with him. All those guys were arrested, busted, swept up, because for a little while, I guess people were freaking out, not being able to find to buy drugs anywhere, So they replaced those guys. We didn't notice right away, but within a short period of time, they replaced those guys with mainland blacks. And we had hardly any black people here back then. I mean, so it was easy. So it was, you noticed, because they were in the same spots the old guys used to be in. And they were causing trouble with the buyers because they were trying to rip them. Of course, because they're trying to rip them off. Because their handlers probably told them, all right, this guy sells X for X, okay? So you kind of want to do that. You don't want to spook people. And okay. And then they probably got the spots and tried to jack the price up 3 times, So there's a lot of problems there. And I thought they were just bringing them in so that they could have more control over the drug trade. Maybe they were moving it out of the hands of the local dealers and police to more of a federal thing, or a letter agency, for whatever reason. That's what we were, guessing, right? And then I started seeing, whenever we would see people like that around, we'd say, he must be one of the CIA's guys. And then it turned into, was the CIA paying for their whole family to come over? Because there's a woman, and these are 2 young kids, and they didn't live here before, and they're here with, they must have come with, and then from there it expanded to, like we were saying, maybe they just bought a hotel in Chinatown where they're storing all these new drug dealers and their families that they shipped in, and all these we didn't know what the fuck was going on. We didn't know it was the beginning of something that would, go beyond just the drug dealers downtown and would be everywhere all the time. It's funny too, because I've said at first people wouldn't talk about it. Like I said, some of my neighbors would come to me very on the down low, like, "Yeah, I noticed a lot of, vacationing here. A lot of exceptional people have been vacationing here. We just don't see a lot of those future doctors and engineers here. Like, what the hell's going on?" I'm like, I don't know. And I was thinking about, the last thing someone in certain economic circumstance, as we're always told they are, would do with their COVID relief funds, the last thing is, let's go on a Hawaiian vacation. It's probably the dead last thing. There's a lot. There's a white van everywhere I am. I do notice that. Someday. Not today though, Satan. But hold on. Let me go into Ross and take care of some business, and I'll be right out. Business being looking for plastic bullshit. Standing in line at Ross, looking at my phone. It's just pages of this, this kind of stuff. And I'm always looking around careful, because there's always people in the line looking on, you know. Then people nosy, look at what you're doing. I don't want to get in an incident with someone because I was looking at the wrong material, you know. But whatever. I was looking at one story in particular about this guy that got in a fight with his son, or they had a family dispute over chicken that led to them using their AK-47. It's funny to read about AK-47s and chicken in the same story. But yeah, I just see a lot of that. I mean, there's obviously something happening. The feeling of this stuff isn't going anywhere. It's just getting more and more I don't know, severe. Like it's there's an acceleration happening here, and I don't know what the end is supposed to be, or what our masters want it to be, because this is all, you know, orchestrated from top to bottom. Because you notice, since this kind of thing kicked off in the cultural zeitgeist and conversation, they haven't had a lot of talk about them and what they're currently doing in their part of the world, which is fucking incredible that they're doing that and just getting away with it, and shaming and banning people who speak out against it. You know, people that protest that are being sent back to you know, I think this whole immigration thing has something to do with that too. A way to expedite getting people out of the country that we criticize them in the case of these protesters. You know, it's a quick way to expedite that to happen. Because I don't think we care about getting criminals. Like, they're the ones that let them all in. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would they give a fuck? I gotta run into ABC. Hang on. Some mean-ass looking can of $6 coffee. Speaking of magic, I'm improving my skills because I just made like fucking $200 disappear. Just about. It is crazy. I don't know how people are doing it here. I mean, I don't know how I'm doing it here. And that adds to a lot of the, you know, the, whatever you want to call it, miasma. Disappointment, despair. When you see people like move into your building that aren't paying what you're paying, never mind the taxes. Well, they're using taxes to keep them in there, and they got bigger places. They have like a bigger apartment, you know, and the government's pretty much footing their bill, and they're right down the hall from you. And meanwhile, we're just like barely skimming along the top. I mean, for if we were back on the mainland, we'd be doing pretty good. You know, we'd be comfortable. Well, we're comfortable here, but things cost a lot of money, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, yeah, what was I talking about? Excuse me. I'm semi-professional. I put almost 1,000 hours in. They say to get good at something, you need to put 10,000 hours in. I think I'm around 1,000 now. So come check me out in 7 years, and I'll be pretty adequate at this. So you won't be hearing all the long pauses and things like that. But I gotta get heading out to take care of this stuff, carry it, and pay attention to my surroundings, as there is a heightened danger level now that I have to be aware of. It's alright though, that's how it is in all the world. Yeah, our masters are doing it, you know. Like I was saying before I went in, what I forgot about is that they're the ones that did it in the first place, so they don't care about sending anyone anywhere. You know, the only thing they want to do is you know, keep everyone in a state of anxiety and unhappiness and anger, and you know, and get rid of the people that might speak out against them and what they got going on, which you don't hear anything about. You know, this kind of racial war, possible, what they're saying, like there ever could be one, like a possible civil war, has taken up all the oxygen from the room that might have been around to ask them, hey, what are you doing over there? And sometimes with evil, like I said before, you just have to ask, like, hey, what are you doing? What are you guys doing over there? And then they have to stop. You know, registering your protest or questioning things can sometimes slow a process down. They're not going to stop, but it's going to give them pause, and and then they'll be like a cat or dog. I gotta get going. I'll see you soon. Thanks for dropping in. Until next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.